So here we have it. Game number 2 of this best of 3, as I correctly put the scoreboard up. And well, King Zhejiang Station is going to be the host of it. Spawning down in the lower right-hand position, representing my insanity, we have Kane. And his opponent, up to the top left, representing AT Gaming, it's Elazer. So, a little bit of ZvZ. Elazer was able to take game number 1. He started off very aggressive with an 8-pull. He's going to be going for that again. It was effective in the first game. Didn't do catastrophic damage, but it did kill off the natural base of Kane. Things were pretty level then, but Kane got greedy, tried to take a third base fast to level out the economic position, but meant that he was very exposed to a lot of speedlings. The Queen Micro was good to try and block off the natural base, but it wasn't enough. The Lings streamed in, dealt 24 drones worth of damage, and there was no coming back from that. Of course, this is a best of 3. All games up until the semi-finals tonight are going to be best of 3s, and that means that luck won't really play into things here. The best of 3s, the best of 5s, the semi-finals, they are to decide the top 2 spots. The 2 players who will be advancing on into the main event, the 6-player Foreign Hope tournament. For those of you who don't know, it was a community-funded event, helped through sponsors, and, well, it's got $24,000 prize pool for 6 players. It's going to be a massive round robin, and that means that it's going to be a long haul for those 6 players, but a lot of money on the line. Anyway, as things stand, Kane, he again went for that 15 hatch, 15 pull. Again though, Elazer has gone for the early 8 pull, and unfortunately for Kane, he's not actually going to see these Lings until the very last moment. No sign of anything at the moment. His Overlord coming through, it's going to see that, okay, there's no natural base yet. Something fishy is going on. He'll know it was an 8 pull previously. How is he going to respond? Not too much he can do. He's just waiting, of course, for that spawning pool to finish up. He did go for a quick check there with a drone to make sure that there was not any spine crawlers being produced on the edge of his creep. Something sneaky that will catch you off guard quite a lot of the time when you're laddering. The Lings now coming through. Elazer coming on up. Wants to check to see whether the spawning pool is done. We'll see it finishing up, and of course, Lings immediately getting started. It'll be interesting to see whether Kane allows this hatch to finish. It will buy him some more time, but I think he'll have a tough moment trying to defend this. He's going to obviously aim to try and keep it for as long as possible. The commitment to Lings from Elazer is exactly the same as last game, so he should be able to kill off this hatchery before any Zerglings come out. But by allowing it to finish, Kane has bought himself enough time to get this out. It also means that he gets some Broodlings, which are just a little bit of damage. Have managed to pick off 2 Lings on their own there, so it helps fight it back a tad. 2 Lings going down, of course, is 50 minerals lost for Elazer. Makes up a bit for the 300, albeit slightly. Ling count 12 to 10 in favor of Kane at the moment, so Kane does have the numbers advantage here, but does need to take a good trade, ideally. Elazer, on the other hand, getting an advantage now on that natural base, despite opening with the pool first, thanks to picking off his opponents. Kane immediately restarted up that third. This is pretty much a complete replica of game number 1 for the moment, so it's going to be interesting to see how Kane adapts, what he tries to do, so he doesn't get forced into the same position as last time. The counterattack coming on through nicely. We've got a lot of Lings here. Nice little spread from Elazer there, making sure that he would get a good concave if Kane tried to move on up. He's also got the Queen as well, which defensively, absolutely massive at these early stages. Will do a heck of a lot to try and stop these Zerglings from getting too much damage down. The Lings now bounding forward, trying to find a way to slip on through. If you recall back to game number 1, they actually went straight into the main base of Elazer, which meant they all died, but traded pretty efficiently for Elazer's Zerglings. This time Kane being a bit more careful with his units, wants to keep them alive, wants to keep that control there. Kane has started, once again, a third base up very quickly. Elazer just scouting that down now. Little engagement here outside the natural base of Elazer. Kane, he's staying pretty level in terms of the overall Zergling count, but good control by Elazer means that he's going to take a fractional lead for a second, then levels it back out. Micro is getting very intense here for both these 2 players. A couple more Lings are going to get taken down. Both players attempting to fight it through, but it's going to be Elazer who gets the upper hand. 2 Zerglings to 1 remaining. Minor things. Overall, the drone count is slightly in favor of Elazer, although not by very much. That's just due to him having the second inject a little bit sooner than that of Kane. And also the first Queen out allowed him to make up for the fact that obviously he committed to that 8 ball. In terms of gases, much more similar this game. Both players grabbing those gases at very equal times. We've also got Elazer now taking his own third base, although that's a long way behind Kane's. His is already finished up. Kane doesn't have vision of it yet, but does have an Overlord just being sent across there to go and give it a little check out to see whether or not it is being taken. So what we have at the moment is, of course, the little crawl up to getting enough gas to start up Zergling speed, to start Roach Warrens, to just get yourself going in towards the more mid-game stages. Both players being very economically focused, and Kane actually being very bold in his droning, although that's going to get leveled out as 10 drones are now being produced by Elazer. Overall, if we look at the resources lost, Kane has lost a little bit more, about 400 minerals, but he's making up for that just by the fact that he got that third base down a little bit sooner. It means that his income is a bit healthier now, so he was over a minute ahead in terms of that third base timing, so having that extra income for an extra minute should make up for it. Lair now getting started up for Kane, a little bit sooner than that we see of Elazer, but Elazer going for the double Roach upgrades. This early Lair, along with the fact that we've got additional gases being taken as well, could suggest that we're going to be getting a Mutalisk style play out of Kane. This is a great map for Mutas. There's a lot of dead space around the main, easy transition round to the third, and again dead space there as well. The natural, exposed from multiple angles, and so all in all, it can be very, very strong. Looks like that's not Kane's plan though, as he does now have the Roach Run coming down and the Evolution Chamber. Still doesn't mean it's definitely not going to happen. It just means that if he did go, he could just be going for this Roach Run in order to be defensive as opposed to anything else. Kane going to lose an Overlord there. That does supply block him momentarily. Actually a bit longer than I thought. He needs to get another whole Overlord out, which is a little bit frustrating for him. He's up by 5 drones at the moment. Overall in the supply, Kane's also ahead for the time being. Small advantages, a lot more lings coming out. There's Roach speed and +1 missile attack. Meanwhile, Elazer just pumping out the Roaches. He's got a big advantage in terms of the upgrades for those Roaches as well. His 1-1 nearly finished. +1 only just starting now. It's about a 60-second, a whole minute disadvantage. However, Kane, he's got a lot of lings. Running on through, going to be trying to get a good amount of damage done. Picking off a couple of these Roaches that have recently popped through, as well as that Queen getting prioritized, will get taken down. That's a nice pick-off. A few drones also going to be meeting their fate. Those Roaches not able to get through there in time, and the Roaches that do, they're low in numbers. Reinforcements, though, will force Kane back, but still 8 workers killed is nothing to be shy of. +1 missile attack for Elazer, soon to be finished up. So that's going to swing any Roach on Roach engagements into his favor, but there's still the 30 Zerglings for Kane, which really can't be underestimated in these low Roach numbers. If a fight came down, they can deal out a lot of damage, soak up a lot of damage, and that can be incredibly helpful in these early stages. So Kane has got the Roach speed advantage, albeit just 20 seconds. He's also getting a second Evolution Chamber, and his lair's also finished. But +2 is already on its way now for Elazer. So this is going to be a very interesting game. Kane adding in Burrow now. Okay, that's quite cool. It'll be interesting to see if he goes for the Tunneling Claws. It's something which, at DreamHack Stockholm, when I spoke to him there, he was saying that is quite a nice new dynamic in ZvZ. I actually did an interview with him and Snoot that covered all of that, and it was a pretty cool idea, so I'm excited to see whether Kane is going to be gunning for anything along those lines. For the moment, fight in the middle, the upgrade advantage is now leveled out. Just a small difference at the moment with the +2 carapace being done. Oh, sorry, the +1 carapace being done for Elazer, whereas no carapace upgrade for Kane. But in ZvZ, in Roach on Roach, that carapace upgrade doesn't make a huge amount of difference. So, still checking around, trying to keep a good little eye on what these guys are doing. Kane moving around to the side, trying to find an opportunity to get a good attack angle onto his opponent. It's 38 to 41 Roaches though, so numbers are in favor of Elazer, and upgrades are also in his favor as well. So the big thing that Kane's got going for him is that he's had a better economy for a chunk of this game. He's also securing up that 4th base faster than his opponent. El's going to be able to see these movements of units, so we'll pull back to defend the rocks at the back of King Sejong Station. Kane at the moment, looking for a nice position to attack, bringing over these Overseers. Trying to decide if he wants to go for this fight. He may not take it just because he's lower in the Roach numbers, only by 1, and there's the 28 Lings, but a choke isn't going to be ideal for him. He's looking instead to try and counterattack with a couple of Lings, but Elazer, he's right on top of this. Does keep some Roaches back at home in order to defend. But is it going to be enough? Dealing some damage out, chipping away nicely. Meanwhile, big Roach fight coming on towards the south. Numbers will be in favor of Kane because of the fact Elazer left a couple of his Roaches back at home to defend against the Lings. Nice concave as well coming through from Kane here. He may be down in the upgrades, but numbers are massively in his favor. Repositioning this roach army, trying to get a better trade. Chasing down his opponent on the retreat will allow him to grab a couple more roaches. Overall resources lost now favoring Kane. There's the burrow, going to regenerate health back up onto these roaches that took some damage. There's no burrow on the map for Elazer, so he doesn't have the option to do this. Doesn't have the option to regenerate up health quickly. And that could start making all of the difference. The roach is now trying to find a nice position. A couple of units getting picked off here and there. Kane, with an odd rally point on his overlords, will end up losing one, but he is maxed out, so it shouldn't hurt too much. Overall, he's up by around... Oh, actually, no, it's bang equal now. Drone count and army supply, precisely the same. The only difference is the attack upgrades. Kane's still got 2 seconds until his +2 kicks in, and that will level things out. Both players now sitting at 2-1. An engagement coming down in the center. Kane is up in the roach count, but the concave better for Elazer. Upgrades are exactly equal. Numbers seem to be winning out at the moment for Kane, taking a very nice trade here, dealing out a lot of damage. However, Elazer bringing in some roaches from the back, is able to get the full surround on his opponent. Reinforcements also coming through for Kane. The defender's advantage going to be there for Elazer. This is a very, very close fight overall in the roach numbers, though Kane is coming out on top. Pushes through, and with that, the GG. Kane levels out this series to be tied 1-1.